Hello, eighth grade. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I've got a few nuts and bolts to share with you this morning, and then we'll go over our chapters and guided notes for the Count of Monte Cristo. So today you're going to be reading chapter 40 through 41 and doing the guided notes. Just continue to keep up with the character chart best you can. You're going to have a discussion post this week. That's going to have a response from you to answer the question, and then respond to two classmates, and that's due Thursday. And our grammar is going to be due Thursday. So the same we did for the week for Good Friday. Coming up, you have your quiz tomorrow over chapters 1 through 40. Remember, it's open book, open notes. You'll want to watch the video because I go over chapter 40, before your quiz tomorrow. And then our vocabulary quiz has been moved to Monday, April 27th, because we're not going to do any quizzes or assignments that are due or assigned on Fridays. All right, so with Friday now being catch up or get ahead days, I'm going to be making adjustments to our reading schedule. What this is most likely going to look like is you'll have all of the reading the same except on Friday. You won't have to do that reading, it will be optional. On Thursday, I'll provide you with a little summary of what was originally scheduled for that Friday so that you know what happens, but so that you can take a break if you need to, because I can't crunch up the reading anymore at this point, and I'm not going to be assigning you extra work on the days that already have other assignments. Okay, so if you have questions about that, you can let me know. Feel free to read those chapters anyway if you want to, but if not, that's okay. I'll be providing a little summary for you and going over that in class. Well, on the video. So novel analysis heads up. Okay. So remember, I said we're not going to have a test for the Count of Monte Cristo. We're going to do a paper. And we've been talking about the theme of revenge. And so you're going to write a paper on the theme of revenge. And I'm going to go over some specifics and put the document, the handout for this paper on the LMS page under composition for you guys. So we'll start working on a thesis statement and support brainstorming this week because you do have quite a bit to talk about with the subject of revenge. And then we'll spend the next 2 weeks writing the paper, okay? You're not going to have a test, and you only have to turn in one draft to me, okay? If you want me to look at a rough draft, if you're like, oh, Miss Carrie, I'd like for you to look at this, I'll provide a time window for you to do that so that you can have time to make changes if you want to. But rough draft and all of that's going to be optional on this, just for the sake of time and all of that. Okay, so I'm going to treat this more like an in-class essay, but you'll have several days to work on it. And instead of it being just a paragraph, it'll be about 1 to 2 typed pages, double spaced. Okay, and that's due May 6th. So you'll have a couple of weeks to work on that. And you're not going to have other writing assignments during that time. So just reading in this, and then, yeah, not a whole lot with like grammar or vocab, just a little review and sometimes not at all. All right. So let's look at what the paper requirements are. Again, I'll have this on the LMS page. So you are looking at the theme of revenge, and you're going to make sure you have specific examples from the book to support your claim, and make sure when you give those examples, you explain why. You analyze them, you explain how they connect to your topic. You'll turn this into turnitin.com, and if you need help with that, of course, you can, let me know. Basic things that I'm looking for. So you'll want that title, TS and supports at the beginning of an essay like you do for paragraphs. So with your research paper, instead of TS and supports, I had you do that outline. This one, we're just going to do a TS and support at the top. We'll work on creating a thesis. Now, you're still going to have paragraphs. So your introduction, you want to get their attention, provide a little background. Okay, so the background would be just a few things, like 2 to 3 sentences summarizing the main idea of the book. Okay, you can't include everything. And then your thesis statement at the end of that paragraph. Body paragraphs at least 3, and I would really recommend doing no more than that with the time that we have and with being in 8th grade. But each body paragraph is going to feature and argue one of your supports. So think TS3 supports, and then I just make each support a paragraph. So, and I'll walk you through that. We'll do it one paragraph at a time. You'll want to have your specific references to the text as proof. And then the analysis and explanation linking back to your support in your thesis. Conclusion, no new information in that. Restate your thesis, leave your audience thinking. I'll look to see that your quotes, you follow that in-text citation, so it's just, the page number in parenthesis at the end. And you do need to quote the book at least once. I want a lot of your own words, but if there's something specific, you do need to give credit and you do need to quote the book at least once. If you do it 3 times, that's fine, but you don't have to. Again, this is 1 to 2 typed pages. We'll do our best with MLA format. My biggest thing is going to be grading your thesis and your structure, so like your TS and support, and just the content of what you're writing in your paragraphs. So formatting, grammar, all those things, those are important, but I'm going to be pretty gentle with you guys on that just because we're not, face to face and it's the end of the year and we've got all this stuff going on. So these are some good goals, but you're not going to, make an F or a D or even a C if you don't do perfect on all of these things. Now, you can write incomplete sentences, so I do expect that. So look over this. Let me know of any questions you have. I'll continue to go over this and some other tips as we work on our essays piece by piece over the next few days and weeks. All right. So with our reading for today, we're going to go over chapter 37 and 38 and 39. So in chapter 37, Eugenie Dangler's friend is Mademoiselle de Armilly, okay? And that's the friend that is getting to go off and be an artist. Now, Monsieur Debray and Madame Danglars is interrupted by Baron Danglars. Okay, so he walks in on them, and remember, they're having a discussion, but they're also having an affair, and so he walks in while they are talking, and he knows that the two of them are talking alone, and this is what happens in the conversation. So he says, look, I know that you are seeing other men, and I know that you're doing inside trading with Debray. Okay, so you're making money off of me and spending extra time with him. And so he goes ahead and gives her a quarter of his winnings from all of the speculation that they've been doing with money. And he expects her and Debray to provide him with a quarter of his losses, or Debray is to disappear. So what he basically does is he offers his wife a bribe, in the sense of, you can keep this guy that you like, and I won't say anything and fuss. If you go ahead, both of you, for the money that the two of you are making, give me a quarter of it. Okay, so it's kind of a different type of bribe. He's saying, you give me money, not I give you money for this. It's, I will let you have your boyfriend. So if you will give me this money from the financial talk that y'all have. Okay, so on chapter 38, there's a problem though for Baron Danglars. Jacobo suspends his payments, so he's having more financial trouble than before. And he is hoping that his daughter will marry Andrea Cavalcanti. Remember, that is actually Vifort's son that was supposed to be killed as a baby, but he survived and then became not a very nice guy. But he's under the guise of Andrea Cavalcanti, the son that reunited with his father. And Baron Danglars is hoping his daughter will marry this guy because he's rich. And he's like, this will save me from all the misfortune that I have endured. Um, and at this time, Baron Danglars reveals about Count de Morcerf that he is Fernand de Mondego and made himself a count through the Ali Pasha affair. And remember, he had killed Ali Pasha, taken his inheritance. And what these guys don't know yet is that Heidi, who is the young girl that's with the count, that she is the daughter of Ali Pasha. In chapter 39, Madame Danglars goes to see Villefort. Remember, they had Andrea Cavalcanti, aka Benedetto, and she didn't realize that the baby hadn't actually died. We'll get to that in a minute. But Villefort knows that the Count was lying about the skeleton in the garden. So when the Count brought them over to his house, had a dinner party, and started mentioning, hey, I've kept this room the same. This just really has this strange feeling about it. And he started mentioning things that only Madame Danglars and Villefort would know about what had happened there with the child. But then he adds this, little bit to the story to, one, make it not too much like the truth for them to figure out who he might be, but also to creep them out. So the count mentions, we found this skeleton in this small box. It was the skeleton of a child. And Vfort knows, of course, that he's lying because he searched the entire garden and never found it. And he also knows that the box with the child was gone when he came to after being stabbed. Now, Madame Danglars did not know that her child was supposed to be buried alive. She actually thought that he was stillborn, or that when he was born, he was already dead. She did not know that Vfort had actually tried to kill him after he was born. Okay, so yeah, really rough stuff. But at this moment, she finds out, and so yeah, not good stuff. All right, so tomorrow we'll talk more about chapter 40 and 41, and I would watch the video tomorrow before I take my quiz. If I were you, remember, if you have questions, be sure to ask, and I will see you all later and give you more tips on your paper throughout the week. All right, bye-bye.